Well, look, 1 week after that beautiful day,
can you expand it?
Calls it, the Republicans, 10 Republicans, joined all of the Democrats to impeach Trump for the worst high crime and misdemeanor ever committed by a president, inciting insurrection against our own Constitution. Make no mistake, a man who uses fraud, theft, and violence to take power will commit any crime to keep it. And now Trump's promising to pardon hundreds of his fellow criminal convicts and insurrectionists. He calls for, quote, the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those in the Constitution. My friends, are we the people going to let Donald Trump terminate our Constitution and obliterate the blessings of liberty for our posterity? That's right. We're going to elect Kamala Harris. We're going to elect the career prosecutor and inspiring public servant and Coach Walls. And we're going to defeat Donald Trump, the career criminal and incorrigible recidivist con man.
If you guys tuned in, thank you. We had technical difficulties earlier.
And America, let's make it a landslide so big that Donald Trump and his kangaroo Supreme Court justices cannot even try to steal it. Let's make every vote count. Let's make sure every vote is counted. Let's let freedom ring, and let's let democracy work.
This is all we have. Make America great, because we're great. Oh, it's actually packed. So why was people posting that nobody was there? Disinformation, fake news.
Yeah, Republicans.
Please welcome Texas Representative
People
Jasmine
just show up
Crockett.
late. You know, the DNC got some late vote.
Oh, she's there?
Oh, is this the eyelash bitch?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Well, good evening, America! On November 5th, our nation will hire a president, a commander.
We didn't have D show up, so you guys out there live, if you want to come on the live, or if you want to be on an interview, put it in the comments.
One candidate worked at McDonald's while she was in college at an HBCU.
Oh, Lord. She done worked at McDonald's. She done smoked weed with Tupac. She done did everything in college.
Born with a silver spoon in his mouth and helped his daddy in the family business.
That's probably the only thing she's telling the truth about. She probably went and ran a Circle K too.
She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it.
3 affairs, 2 promotions on her knees.
Her entire career as an elected district attorney.
1 failed attempt at
Attorney General and Senator. She's always worked for one client, the people.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, he's a 78-year-old lifelong predator, fraudster, and cheat, known for inciting violent mobs.
Kamala Harris just locked up the mob.
Y'all. He's only looked out for one person, himself. As women are dying, he is bragging about overturning Roe. And y'all know I come from Texas. And right now in Texas, come on, Texas. But right now in Texas, they want to institute the death penalty. That is a problem.
Well, that's what the people voted.
Kamala Harris
they
is
voted
fighting for our
in a
reproductive
governor
rights
that
to be
believes
restored.
in that. So if you don't like it, vote him out. Oh, guess what? He's going to get voted back in.
She is
That's not
also
Trump's
the leader
fault.
we need on the global
Is his
stage.
term limits?
She helped secure the release
I don't know. That's
of
a good question.
Americans
Let us know in the
wrongfully
chat if he had his
detained in
term
Russia.
limits.
At the same time, he cozies up to his role model, Vladimir Putin, and MAGA holds legislation hostage here at home, critical resources to secure the border, military aid to Ukraine, and even the farm bill. She's lived the American dream while he's been America's nightmare.
Oh my God. Fake news. This information, in my words, of D. White.
America, looking at the two choices before you, who would you hire? Donald Trump,
because he did good with the economy.
Or Kamala Harris?
Yes.
Kamala Harris has a resume. Donald Trump has a rap
We're
sheet.
live streaming right now.
She presides over the Senate while he keeps our national secrets next to his thinking chair. Y'all know what I said that other time. In Mar-a-Lago. Well, Donald Trump wants to put our 1787 Constitution through his Project 2025 paper shredder.
This information, there's no Project 2025. It's Project
Kamala
47.
Harris is fighting to fulfill the promise of America.
She's fighting to ruin America and make it be communism.
They already talked about it and showed it. You missed that part. They already showed everything.
You know what's amazing to me? Let us know in the chat. Why do they make people show their ID, but you don't have to show an ID to vote?
Even though there is only
Kamala Harris is against borders and walls,
only one
yet they had a border and a wall at the DNC. Can someone let me know in the chat what that's about?
And she needs you. She needs your one vote.
Someone not Gray Mars on the DNC payroll. Oh wait, my bad. You weren't invited this year.
Oh my. Maybe that's why D's not here. Maybe he's at the DNC. Some of you know
a little bit of my history. Some of you don't. So
let us know in the chat where you think D. White is. Is he at the DNC?
I did criminal defense as well as practiced civil rights law for almost 2 decades. I know a good prosecutor when I see one. Kamala Harris is the kind of prosecutor we long for in the cases like those of Breonna Taylor.
Thank you for the people tuning in. Yeah. I wanted to make sure
she was the first attorney general in the nation to order that her officers wear body cams, and she started the Back on Track program to reduce recidivism. Listen, y'all, she did all these things because she genuinely cares about people. She sees each person as just that, a person, not a statistic. She's proven that since the first day she stepped into a courtroom and said what y'all already heard Hillary say, I did not copy off of her speech. I just want y'all to know. She walked into that courtroom and said, Kamala Harris for the people. And she meant that. Many of you know her credentials, but what I love about Kamala Harris goes beyond her resume, is that she sees the humanity in everyone. She's the only candidate in this race who is capable of empathy. When I first got to
Kamala Harris is as boring as this chat or this speech.
The Chaos Caucus couldn't elect a speaker, and the Oversight Committee was unhinged. I was going through all of this when I visited the Vice President's residence for the first time. As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw through the eyelashes. I immediately began crying.
I don't see a tear. Do you?
Yeah, I see a little one.
Oh, through the eyelashes, you can see that?
And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened.
Well, one thing I will say that's funny, she actually tried to say that Democrats said anybody but her when she was picked to
it's so hard for me to tell this story.
To be the next president when Joe Biden.
She then said, among other things, you are exactly where God wants you.
She said that.
She said, chose you
yeah, she
because
said
they
that she
believe
heard
in you,
people say that.
and so do I.
Because she said it. Oh, lying, hating ass.
You said she said it?
Yeah,
she said she heard people say that.
She heard people say it. She heard her own lips saying it. She probably heard AOC saying it.
I went viral for the first of many times to come for hitting Republicans with a dose of their own medicine.
That's what I do.
Don't worry, you're going to be voted out just like your homegirl was. That was part of the squad.
Legs and
I hit Nora and D with a dose of reality every day.
Huh?
Oh, what happened? Oh.
The question before us is, will a vindictive, vile villain violate voters' vision for a better America or not? I hear alliterations are back in style. We
Follow
deserve
us
better.
on Facebook,
we
TikTok,
deserve a
Gray
president
Mars,
who can be a bright
Twitter.
light in a sea of darkness. One who will put us,
What's the Twitter of the new party?
Because we won't
Facebook,
go 115.
back.
Facebook, Instagram.
New Party 115 is the Twitter handle.
Facebook,
Amanda
Instagram,
Gorman
and TikTok is all
said
Gray
it
Mars.
best. There's always light. If
And that's
only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Kamala Harris showed me that light. And America, when she is our president, together we will shine as that beacon of hope and freedom around the world once more. God bless y'all.
Bye. Bye.
This is one of our willow boxes. This is the outfit that she was gonna maybe wear home.
Is that a commercial?
Well, yeah, we're gonna take it off while there's a commercial. So, Gray, I mean, tell us what you think about tonight.
I think it's looking great. I see a lot of women on stage. I see Hillary Clinton. They are garnering the woman vote. And I have a question for you as the woman on the lives. And I hear all the insults you're tossing at female politicians. So you don't feel like this is great for women empowerment and for what women are trying to accomplish in this country?
No, I don't think this is women empowerment because Kamala Harris is not in her position today because she earned it. She's in her position today because she was on her back, allegedly, for Willie in San Francisco 30 years ago.
So you're basically saying if someone slept with someone, that means that and that was years ago, that it gets them to the position that they're at. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So that Donald Trump shouldn't have anything. He just was the product of rich people. I mean, like, that's
Donald
the same.
Trump is a product of generational wealth. He's a product of what millions of Americans hope they can leave their children. He actually worked really hard as well and created multiple businesses.
Yeah, well, he got his daddy that little small $1 million loan, right? That was working hard. I got a small loan from my dad, $1 million.
Kamala Harris worked hard on her back while she got a Mercedes-Benz from a married man.
I think that's disparaging to say about a woman. I think that's horrific. And the lady that's on Twitter, the right-wing lady pretending to be Kamala Harris, that's saying that she's reprehensible and disgusting. I don't know her name. You guys can say her name in the chat. But I mean, to sit here and say that anybody slept their way to the top, whether it's a man or a woman, we don't know. And the fact that the Donald Trump administration was full of nepotism, giving his children's spouses positions in his administration. I think that's way worse than sleeping with somebody and them getting you a job, than you giving your kids or somebody a job. Even if you look at NBA, I don't know if Nora follows it, but Bronny James was the most talked about basketball player, and he was picked 55th. And this was the first time in years that they didn't talk about the number one basketball player. They talked about the 55th overall pick because he was Bronny James. So I think it's a big difference to say, okay, this person got with this person and they slept with them, so they got to this position. I think that's horrible.
Well, they're back. They're talking about reproductive rights. I'm
Doctors
going to
and
put it back
nurses
up.
who couldn't
Can
help
you hear?
me deliver her
Yeah.
safely. For Josh, who feared he would lose me too. But I was lucky. I lived. So I'll continue sharing our story, standing with women and families across the country. Today, because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in America lives under an abortion ban. A second Trump term would rip away even more of our rights. Passing a national abortion ban, letting states monitor pregnancies and prosecute doctors, restricting birth control and fertility treatments. We cannot let that happen. We need to vote as if lives depend on it, because they do.
Two years ago, my husband and I were expecting our second child. Our daughter, Lauren, couldn't wait to be a big sister. I was getting ready for her 4th birthday party when something didn't feel right. 2 emergency rooms sent me away. Because of Louisiana's abortion ban, no one would confirm that I was miscarrying. I was in pain, bleeding so much my husband feared for my life. No woman should experience what I endured.
Do you believe that they were
too
giving out
many
free
have.
abortions?
They write to me saying,
Free
what happened
abortions
to
to
you happened to
They
me.
claim there was an abortion bus and
Sometimes they're
vasectomy bus there.
miscarrying, scared to tell anyone,
Abortion
even
bus?
their doctors.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Our daughters deserve better.
I think that's
America
numerically
deserves
impossible.
better.
You're going to be able to just find a whole bunch of pregnant women.
I don't know, that's what I heard.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will fight for reproductive rights and our freedom and our shared future.
Let us know in the chat what you think about the abortion. Are you for it, against it? Do you think that it's a woman's right? Do you think that it's good for our country?
Varsity soccer captain, cheerleading captain, homecoming queen, and survivor. I was raped by my stepfather after years of sexual abuse. At age 12, I took my first pregnancy test, and it was positive. That was the first time I was ever told, you have options. I can't imagine not having a choice. But today, that's the reality for many women and girls across the country because of Donald Trump's abortion bans.
Fake news. Donald Trump did not ban abortion. Donald Trump,
what is so
the Supreme Court says it's at the state level. This is disinformation. I cannot sit here and listen to this. You don't agree with abortion or you're for it, you should vote people in that's going to vote it out.
There are other
Donald
survivors
Trump
out there
is the reason Roe versus Wade was overturned.
options. And I want you to know that we see you. We hear you.
Let us know in the chat what you think. Drop a line.
Kamala Harris will sign a national law to restore the right to an abortion. She will fight for every woman and every girl, even those who are not fighting
I
for
want
her.
everyone to know that the birth rate in this country has gone down.
It's too expensive to have a job.
And now I am honored
because
to
of
introduce
the greedy
another
politicians.
champion for
It's not
women,
just Donald Trump,
a
it's
leader
all of
who's
them.
fought for me and for so many others.
It's corporate greed.
Governor Andy Beshear.
This is so boring. Oh my God. R&B was so much more interesting.
Yeah, I would love to go see Hulk Hogan.
It was better than this. Yes. Look, there's the cat ladies in the audience. JD Vance is weird. Weird.
Speaking of that, Nora got kicked out of the Nick Fuentes spaces
is
on
one of the
Twitter.
bravest people I've
And the
ever
weirdest
met.
part.
Hey, shouts out to whoever the moderators are for the Nick Fuentes group. I got kicked out. If y'all know one of them, I think it's low-key racism. And I don't use that word lightly.
Yet Donald
But the
Trump
weirdest part
brags
about it is
about
they
tearing a
called her a weirdo.
constitutional right away from Hadley and every other woman and
We
girl
got
in
kicked
our
out.
country.
Weird.
That's why we must tear away any chance he can ever be president ever again.
Oh my gosh. Let us know in the chat what you think about that. Have you ever been kicked out of the Nick Fuentes group for being weird?
In
I
21
think it's weird.
states,
It freaks me
Trump's
out.
actions have resulted in extreme bans on abortion in my state, even in cases of rape, incest, and non-viable pregnancies. That leaves 12-year-old girls like Hadley with no options. That fails any test of humanity, any test of basic decency, any test of whether you have any underlying empathy. Thankfully, this extremism is being soundly rejected all over our country.
We're doing the spaces on Twitter where you'll be able to voice your opinion.
In
Just
Kentucky,
like here, where
we
it's
put reproductive
independents,
freedom on the
Republicans,
ballot
Democrats.
last November, and I
These
beat
not
Donald
here,
Trump
these
and Mitch
Republican
McConnell's
votes, the
hand-picked
independent
candidate
and the
by
Democrat.
more than 5
If you
percentage
want
points.
to put your voice out there, we'll be doing the spaces on Twitter.
Oh, by the way, I thought you said there was no celebrities. The scandal actor Tony was
This
there.
November, we're going to beat them again.
No, that's what they said. They're not going to have a bunch. But I
Elect
hear it's going
Kamala
to be Taylor
Harris and
Swift and
Tim Walz
Beyonce.
and protect reproductive freedom.
Well, J-Lo's going to be there this week, I heard.
Folks,
That's what my
Donald Trump
exclusive
appointed the
sources are
Supreme
saying.
Court justices who got us into this mess. His Project 2025 goes even further. Here's the thing. Trump and Vance simply don't believe in your freedom. Trump says people are absolutely thrilled that women have their basic rights eliminated.
Listen to what this person's posted
JD
on
Vance
Twitter.
says women should stay
Every
in violent
speaker at the
marriages,
DNC is talking
and that
about how rough
pregnancies resulting
Americans
from
have it
rape
right now,
are
as if the
simply
Democrats haven't
inconvenient.
controlled the White House for the past 4
Their
years.
policies give rapists more rights than their victims. That's not inconvenient. It's just plain wrong.
That's a good point. But they basically have been saying corporate greed mostly.
And a woman grieving a non-viable
Is there
pregnancy
anything else interesting
shouldn't
they
be
said on
required
there?
to carry it to term just
No,
to
I'm
listen
just
to her
finding
child
tweets.
die.
But see,
to
we're
hear no
making it
sound
way more
at all.
interesting. So I'm glad you guys are tuned in.
All women should have
You know,
the freedom to
DNC's
make their
not, and
own
RNC's not the
decisions.
most entertaining thing, but
Freedom
we'll be
over their own bodies.
commentating on them
Freedom
and give it a little
about
bit more
whether to
interesting
pursue
for you
IVF.
guys.
Freedom about whether to have children at all.
The last one was emotional, though. I think
How
that
we
hurt.
treat people
That
transcends
helped
party
Democrats and hurt
lines.
Republicans
It
with
goes
the
right to the
rape cases.
heart of who we
Our
are.
cases can't say
My
that.
faith
Guy's
teaches me the
boring.
golden rule that I am to love my neighbor as myself. In the parable, the Good Samaritan says we are all each other's neighbors. So I want anyone watching tonight, Republican, Independent, Democrat, to know that you are welcome here.
Are they really welcome?
We believe
when you
in
have
America,
people
where
in
we
the
live
crowd
out our
yelling
values,
pig and
end
disgusting things
anger
to law
politics
enforcement
once
officers?
and for all, and move beyond this us versus them by remembering we are all Americans.
That did happen.
Yes, it did. I played the video on our last live.
That's how Joe Biden and Kamala Harris lead. They both called to ask how they could help Kentucky in recovering from natural disasters. They helped us improve our roads, our bridges, and invested in our people. They didn't ask me who Kentuckians voted for. They asked me what Kentuckians needed, and folks, they delivered.
Oh, listen to what this person said
Kamala
about Jasmine
Harris
Crockett.
gets it.
Every
She
time
knows we
Jasmine
must
Crockett
move
opens her
beyond
mouth,
anger,
she sets Black people
extremism,
back
and
nearly
division.
a decade,
That
lie after
everyone
lie.
has
Jasmine
dignity
Crockett does
and
not speak for
deserves
Black
respect.
America. Does she speak
America,
for Black America?
we're going to win.
Not necessarily.
And we're going to win
Why,
by
'cause she
staying
ghetto?
true to our values of compassion, empathy, and doing right by our neighbors.
'Cause she's
I'm
ghetto?
so proud
That's
to
what a
be
person
all
said
in
that.
for the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Thank you.
Boring.
He was kind of boring,
Georgia
but
Senator Raphael Warnock.
Oh, now it's your boy Warnock. Come for the Black people.
it's been a bunch of Black people. You missed the beginning.
I mean, they know that's their biggest.
Oh,
loyal voting
Jesse
bloc.
Jackson was up there in a wheelchair.
Well, hello, America. Thank you so very much. On January 5th, 2021, the people of Georgia did an amazing thing. They sent a Black kid who grew up in public housing and the Jewish son of an immigrant to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. And among those Georgians was my then 82-year-old mother. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia. Do you know where that is? It's Waycross, Georgia. She grew up in Waycross, Georgia, where she picked other people's cotton and other people's tobacco. But because this is America, the 82-year-old hands that used to pick somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco picked her youngest son to be a United States Senator. This is my America. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you, America, for raising your voice and using your vote. A vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children, and our prayers are stronger when we pray together. And so together we flipped the Senate, held the House, and we sent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to the White House. Together we vaccinated our citizens, we fortified our cities and our towns, and we stood by our small businesses. Together we set out to heal the land.
What's your church title?
A nation besieged by a deadly pandemic and beset by the awful and divisive rhetoric of a man too small for the office entrusted him or the task set before him. The day after my January 5th election, he instigated an insurrection, a violent assault on our nation's capital and the peaceful transfer of power, all driven by the big lie. But behind the big lie was an even bigger lie.
Mm-hmm.
It is the lie that this increasingly diverse American electorate does not get to determine the future of the country. The lie and the logic of January 6th is a sickness. It is a kind of cancer that then metastasized into dozens of voter suppression laws all across our country. And we must be vigilant tonight because these anti-democratic forces are at work right now in Georgia and all across our country. And the question is, who will heal the land? And so here we are, America. Are you ready? Are you ready to stand up in this moral moment? Stand up for the best in the American covenant.
What are we standing up for?
Elections are about the character of a country. And we must decide, again, we are the latest generation of Americans who get to decide
when he ran again. It was that football player guy, right?
And we must choose between the
lady that owned the WNBA team, Kelly Loeffler. She owned the WNBA team.
January 6th. A nation that embraces all of us or just some of us. Donald Trump's America is the America of January 6th.
Oh,
People
Kelly
who
Loeffler.
have no vision,
yeah, you were right.
Traffic in division.
Yeah, I'm the intelligent one.
He does not know how to lead us, and so
I know,
he wants to divide us. America, make no mistake. Donald
was
Trump
that another
is a
election,
plague on
or
the American conscience.
I think he really won. It was Georgia.
He is a clear and present threat to the precious covenant we share with one another. And yes,
Let us know in the chat what's your favorite policy that Joe Biden and the Democrats have done in the last 4 years. I'm waiting.
The Inflation Reduction
Bible
Act.
As if it needed his
Is that yours, Gray?
endorsement.
The Reduction Act?
Mm-hmm.
He should try reading it.
Interesting. Mine was the student loans. Oh, wait, he didn't do it.
He did. You didn't get any loss? You didn't get any taken away?
It says, do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with your God. He should try
well,
reading
you're a
it.
Republican.
It
You
says,
don't deserve it anyway.
As yourself. It says, inasmuch as you've
I
done
thought
it
you were
unto the
voting
least
to be
of
the
these,
president for
you have
all.
done it also unto me.
Uh-huh. Exactly. That's what I thought.
I choose the American covenant. E pluribus unum, out of many one. I choose January 5th. I choose a nation that provides a path for ordinary people and gives every child a chance. And that's Joe Biden's America. And he's been fighting for it for more than a half century. President Biden, America is so much better because of you, a true patriot who has always put the people first. Thank you, Joe.
This is a Joe Biden farewell tour.
She what?
This is a Joe Biden farewell tour.
Hey, let us know in the chat what you think. Do you think that Joe Biden is going to step down tonight? Is he supposed to speak tonight, right?
Something else.
Yes. That's what everybody waiting on.
How late is this going? It's 11. Jeez.
Joe Biden's America. That's Kamala Harris's America.
Well, if he's not after this,
huh?
When we expanded
the tax
credit, cutting child poverty in America nearly in half.
On tomorrow, and hopefully B shows up.
We ought to renew it.
We wanted his
Where's D. White, everybody? Let us know in the chat. Where's D. White?
Capping the cost of insulin to no more than $35
Is he on a flight to go to the DNC?
Or
maybe he's going to go protect them from the anti-Israel protesters.
Together we passed an infrastructure bill, bolstered American manufacturing and clean energy, an investment in the house that we all share together. And I've got news for you. We are just getting started.
Did the RNC run this late? Was that this late? Was the RNC like this late?
They usually wrapped up like around 11:15.
Oh, you want to know what? It's the time.
Kamala
time
Harris.
difference.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Walz
yeah.
Represent the new way forward.
Let us know what you think in the chat. Is he doing a good job?
We're not going back.
They said they're not going back.
We're not going back because
my goodness.
We are the United States of America. We always dream about the future.
He talked like a preacher.
And so forward on women's reproductive rights, because we believe that a patient's room is too small and cramped a space for a woman, her doctor, and the United States government. That's too many people in the room. Forward on worker rights, because most people do not mind working. They just want to share in the prosperity that they are creating for others. Forward on voting rights, forward on affordable housing and access to health care. We are moving forward. And so I'm inspired tonight. I'm inspired by all of you. I'm inspired by the resilience of an American spirit that has rebounded from the pandemic.
We're going to bring you guys
the forces that are trying to
DNC
divide
Night.
us. And I'm inspired tonight by the memory of my late father,
Gray Mars on TikTok,
a preacher and a junk
Facebook,
man.
Instagram.
Monday through Friday.
What is it on Twitter?
He lifted
New Party 115.
old broken cars and put them on the back of an old rig. But on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people whom other people had discarded and told them that they were God
posts all
somebody.
right-wing content on Twitter, so you guys will love it over there. You know, Elon Musk is blocking the left-wing content, so
strength in the broken
right-wing stuff.
A power made perfect in weakness. And so I'm convinced tonight that we can lift the broken even as we climb. I'm convinced tonight that we can heal sick bodies. We can heal the wounds that divide us. We can heal a planet in peril.
Like, you guys have had the White House the last 4 years.
What you want them to say?
And in a strange way.
Yeah, fight.
In a strange way, the pandemic taught us
how about we unite the country? How about we
a contagious airborne disease means that I have a personal stake.
You want them to go
in the health of my neighbor.
Let's unite.
If she's sick, I may get sick also. Her health care is good for my health.
Yeah, I need them to unite the country.
I'm just trying to tell you that we are as close in our
I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm sure they're going to have a night.
As a cough.
where Republicans come
I
on
need my
stage.
neighbor's children to be okay so that my children will be okay. I need all of my neighbor's children to be okay. Poor inner city children in Atlanta and poor children of Appalachia. I need the poor children of Israel and the poor children of Gaza. I need Israelis and Palestinians. I need those in the Congo, those in Haiti, those in Ukraine. I need American children on both sides of the track to be okay.
There you go.
Because we are all God's children. And so let's stand together.
But what God do they like?
Together.
I'm not understanding.
Let's
Like,
organize
I'm
together.
gonna be
You
quiet.
just asked for that and they did it.
Let's stand together. Let's heal the land. God bless you.
He literally
And nothing
said
they're
it.
going to
He
say is
literally
going
did
to
it.
tell me that they're trying to unite us. I think that all the policies of the Democrats are divisive. I think that they are spreading hatred. I think that
You
they are
Republicans
spreading
can't be pleased. He literally,
demonic
just
things.
said,
Delaware
you literally just
Senator
said,
Chris
give us a unity
Coons.
message. He said, all the children, everybody, let's come together, let's be loved, let's be
Who is
healed.
this
He
now?
literally said what you asked him to
Is this
say.
Tim Walz's friend? They both look weird.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, America. Good evening, Chicago. Are there any Democrats in the room tonight?
We know it's late. Do you want to call it here?
Folks,
There's
we
no
are on the
Democrats in
verge
the
of
room.
making
They're
history.
all communists.
We are on the verge of an historic election. And I want to talk with you for just a few minutes about my dear friend,
You want to
our
wrap it up?
president,
I'm having
Joe
fun.
Biden.
I want to see Joe Biden speak.
Joe
Who's
Biden's
the
mom
headliner
had a
tonight? It's
saying.
Joe Biden, right?
You are
Yeah.
defined by
But we
your
have to hold on.
courage,
We have to see if he's going to
and you
announce
are
this thing.
redeemed by
I mean, if
your
you want to wrap it
loyalty.
up, we can. But I really
4
think
years ago,
a big
I had the
announcement is
honor
coming tonight.
of helping
Okay.
introduce Joe Biden to our
Whatever you
national
want to do, though,
convention.
let me know.
I spoke about Joe's faith, his love of family, his determination to restore the soul of our nation. Back in 2020, America was nearly flat on our back from a deadly pandemic, an economic collapse, and then in January, an assault on our democracy. All of this, because the drama and chaos of our former president had knocked us down. But folks, Joe Biden's courage, Joe Biden's faith in us, Joe Biden's determination to heal the soul of our nation gave us hope and gave us confidence. Someone who has himself been knocked down by life time and again. Joe Biden knows the grit and determination of the American people. He believed in us, and Joe Biden helped us get back up again. Using the incredible skills he developed in many years in the U.S. Senate, Joe got passed and signed into law the most consequential legislation of any president in 60 years, helping our veterans, advancing gun safety, cutting prescription drug prices, fighting climate change, rebuilding bridges and broadband, bringing manufacturing back to America. Together, Joe and Kamala helped rebuild our economy from the middle up, from the bottom up, and the middle out, not from the top down. And they made our families safer and our country stronger at home and abroad. Today, we are so much better off because they believed in us, in our democracy.
Did he say he was introducing
And
Joe
our
Biden?
incredible First Lady, Jill Biden.
I think so.
Our incredible First Lady, Jill Biden. Our incredible First
Who is
Lady,
he?
Jill Biden,
You know who he is? Who
was
is he?
at Joe's side every step of the way,
I don't know. Let me
fighting
see
for
if I can turn up the
education,
volume.
advancing the cancer moonshot,
No.
determined to improve women's health care, honoring military families. Joe and Jill, together, you have done so much for us. And there's so much more you will do and we can do together. Mr. President, thank you. Thank you for elevating a great leader in Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris, thank you for choosing a great running mate with a heart for the middle class like yours in Sergeant, Congressman, Coach, Governor Tim Walz. I have hope. Do you? I have hope. Do you? I have hope. Do you? And it is in no small part because of Joe Biden. I have never known a more compassionate man than Joe Biden. I have never known a man who has taken from his own loss and his own faith and delivered so much for the future of so many others. Mr. President, you were my senator as a Delawarean. You are my president as an American, and you will always be my friend. On behalf of our nation, Joe, for your courage in fighting for our democracy, we thank you. On behalf of our Democratic Party, for your loyalty in fighting for our democratic values, we thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
And on behalf of Delaware, thank you, Joe, and God bless you.
On behalf of America,
love you.
No, thank you, Joe. You should have stayed in the race so you could have lost gracefully. Now we're stuck with this dimwit.
We love Joe. We love Joe.
And what is becoming and unbecomes and unburdened by what has been burdened, now we're burdened.
Thank you all. We love Joe.
I
God
can't
bless
imagine.
You. Thank you
You
very
know what
much.
I was thinking about? If
What?
Trump loses, he's gonna constantly be like, "They cheated me. He dropped out. They cheated me. He dropped out."
This laughing bitch, I lost to her.
I can only imagine if.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Vivian Warewell, and I am a 4th grade student at Kristen McAuliffe. I've been bouncing around all week excited for this moment,
Yeah,
and last night I could barely sleep.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts?
This is painful.
It's painful.
Yeah,
I think they did good.
We got some viewers, but I can't see the chat. I wonder if people are writing. Sorry if you're writing and we don't see it.
How many viewers is it?
28.
Oh, okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. We wanted to bring it to you. We'll try to stay up for you guys to get you every speech, and we'll try to keep it entertaining. I know it can like drag out. We wanted D here, we wanted his feedback from his side, but me and Nora, we're going to hold it down and get it for you guys. So
we think D. White got into a fight with the protester.
So as the opposing party, I know you're independent, but as the opposing party, because you're voting for Trump.
Joe Biden. No, Joe Biden's up. Sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but she's big.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, that's a good person to introduce him.
She looks so gorgeous. I'll give Joe Biden this. She's a beautiful woman.
Thank you.
Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Love you too. Joe and I have been together for almost 50 years. And still, There are moments when I fall in love with him all over again.
Really?
Like when I handed him our baby Ashley for the first time.
Like when he
and
pooped
saw
in his
the
diaper
smile
yesterday.
that lit up his face.
Wow.
Or on nights after an
You hear these
exhausting
people
day
what
in
this girl
working
just
in the
said.
Senate, when
She's
he
a
would
beautiful
read
woman, though.
one
No
more
shade.
bedtime story
Jill, you
just
wearing that dress.
because the
That dress is
kids
not wearing you.
asked.
You're wearing it. You look great.
When he stops on a rope line because he sees someone grieving who needs to know that everything is going to be all right one day. Or to encourage that child
You know, Joe,
with a
I do think
stutter
you're a good man.
to find the
I think the
confidence
Democrats,
she
well,
needs.
the extreme left has
Those
destroyed
moments
you and
when
your
I'm
legacy.
reminded of all he's accomplished in the name of something bigger than himself.
They let him
Receiving
leave
the
gracefully.
Medal of Freedom with humility.
They let him leave with grace.
I don't know.
Placing his hand on our family Bible to take his oath of office.
You're gonna cry when you hear this speech.
And weeks ago, when I saw him
You think she's gonna
dig
cry?
deep
You.
into his soul
I'm gonna
and
cry.
decide to no longer seek re-election
When I see him go out?
and endorse Kamala Harris.
When I saw them parading this man around right before he stepped down, literally, remember, Gray? I had tears in my eyes.
You just called me D. Are you serious?
With faith and
You just called me
conviction,
D.
Joe knows that our nation's
Gray.
strength doesn't come from intimidation or
remember-
cruelty. It comes from
I
the
was about to say
small acts of
Monte, but
kindness
you get what
that
I'm saying.
heal deep
Honestly.
wounds, from service to the communities that make us who we are, from love of a country that shines with promise and renewal. Kamala Harris knows that too.
Y'all said Joe didn't want to drop out. That's what you
Our
and D
son
said.
Bo first worked with Kamala when he was Attorney
You're
General
muted.
of Delaware. He told me at the dinner table one night, "Mom, she's special. Someone to keep your eye on." And he was right. Joe and I know Kamala. We have seen her courage, her determination, and her leadership up close. Kamala and Tim, you will win.
And you will run this country to be one step closer towards communism and socialism. And I don't use that lightly.
And you are inspiring a new generation. We
Thank
are
you guys
all
for
a part
tuning
of
in.
something bigger than ourselves.
We know we're a small
and
channel.
we are
And
stronger
you could have
than
watched
we
it anywhere
know.
else, so you watched it with
The
us.
future of our country is in the hands of those in this room and all of you watching at home. It's going to take all of us, and we can't afford to lose. With faith in each other, hope for a brighter future, and love for our country, we will fight and we will win together. Thank you. Thank you.
I really would have loved to hear Dee's thoughts on this. You're muted.
Me too. I would have loved to hear his thoughts.
Yeah.
Dee, where are you? Are you off?
Please welcome
fighting
first
a
daughter,
protester?
Ashley Biden.
Are you off getting a vasectomy on one of the buses? Who the heck is Ashley Biden?
I think his granddaughter, right?
Is that the crackhead's daughter or
memory.
both?
It's the eve of my 8th birthday. Dad is still in D.C. tending to urgent matters in the Senate. That night, as a surprise, Mom told me, Bo, and Hunter to get in the car. I remember pulling up to the Wilmington Amtrak station, riding up the escalator to the platform. The train stops, doors open, and Dad steps out. As soon as I saw him, I run down that platform and jump into his arms. Like magic, Mom brought out a cake, they sang happy birthday, and I blew out the candles. Dad hugged me, and he said that he had to get back to work. He crossed to the southbound train, and off he went to DC. That was a snapshot of one moment, of one day, on this extraordinary journey of being Joe Biden's daughter.
The daughter.
Joe Biden is the OG girl dad. He told me I could be anything and I could do anything. As a child, I would sit on the leather chair in his office doing my homework, and he would sit next to me doing his work, drafting the Violence Against Women Act. And he wasn't just a girl dad. I could see that he valued and trusted women. How he listened to his mother, how he believed in his sister, and most of all, how he respected my mother's career. Dad was always there, doing everything he could to be a true partner to her. Dad, you always tell us, but we don't tell you enough, that you are the love of our lives and the life of our love. I had my wedding reception in my parents' backyard. At the time, my dad was vice president. But he was also that dad who literally set up the entire reception. He was riding around in his John Deere four-wheeler, fixing the place settings, arranging the plants, and by the way, he was very emotional. I thought that I would be a mess, but he was the one crying, and I was the one who had to comfort him. Before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said that he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. His example in service inspired my career. I'm a social worker in Philadelphia. I support formerly incarcerated women as they heal from past trauma and they reclaim their lives. Dad always told me that I was no better than anybody else and nobody was better than me. He taught me that everyone deserves a fair shot and that we shouldn't leave anyone behind. That's what you learn from a fighter who has been underestimated his entire life. When I look at Dad, I see grace, strength, and humility. I see one of the most consequential leaders ever in history. And I also know that he never stops thinking about you, about your dreams, about your dignity, about your opportunities, about your family. Dad knows that family is everything. When Hunter and I lost our brother Bo to cancer in 2015, the grief and the pain felt like it might never end. Dad had the capacity to step out of his own pain and absorb ours. And I know that Bo is here with us tonight, as he is always with us. After Bo passed, I got this tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Courage, dear heart." A reminder to myself to keep going, to get back up, like my dad has always done. He has taught me that a courageous heart is a miraculous thing. A courageous heart can heal a family. A courageous heart can heal a nation, and maybe even the world. And now, this election requires the courageous hearts of all of us. In 2020, my dad selected Kamala Harris to beat Donald Trump. And he knows in 2024, she will beat Donald Trump again. So tonight, I am asking you, if you stood with us in 2020, call upon your courageous heart. Stand with us today. Work harder than you have ever worked before in your life. This is the fight of our lifetime. Our freedom, our democracy, our reproductive rights. All of this, all of it is on the ballot. And I know together we can do this because my dad helped show us the way. And now I would like to introduce my father, your 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Woohoo!
The headliner.
Your love lifted me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your
the main time and then your camera.
My bad, Monte. I had to get my charger. I'm sorry.
Oh, you good? Oh, see, people crying.
You're gonna cry.
Yeah.
Where's the sound? Can you hear?
Yeah.
It's so weird. I can't hear.
Thank you.
You got it all the way up?
Yeah, can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. Seems like it got lower for some reason.
It got low?
Thank you,
Kind
thank
of.
you, thank you.
Here we go. So it's not me, it's something with the stream, maybe.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably.
Let us know in the chat if you think he's going to resign.
Thank you,
He's
thank
not.
you, thank you.
I know I said before he is, but he's not.
All right. Well.
I'm a flip-flopper like Kamala Harris.
I was about to say, you flip-flopping like Kamala tonight. You got them Kamala vibes? Oh, I understand. The DNC got to go with what their leader's saying.
No, there's Republicans.
Thank you,
They follow
thank you.
everything Donald Trump say. You crazy? Like, seriously?
I'm going to mute myself since it's hard to hear him.
Thank you.
I just checked on my TV. It's regular volume on my TV. So it is to stream. Let me see.
I love you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was my daughter. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, but so I tell you what. To my dearest daughter, Ashley, God love you, you're incredible. Thank you for the introduction and for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our entire family, and especially our rock, Jill. Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me. She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, boom, boom. You all will know me. No, I'm not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden. My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I love you all. Folks. And America, I love you. Folks, let me ask you. Let me ask you, are you ready to vote for freedom? Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States? My fellow Democrats, my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago in winter, on the steps of the Capitol on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve.
Fun fact, my birthday is the inauguration day every year,
and to
January
faithfully
20th.
execute the office of the President of the United States.
Funner fact, my daughter's is too.
In front of me was a city surrounded by the National Guard.
Shouts out
Behind
to
me,
the DNC. I guess if we have to go to
just 2
DC,
weeks
it'll be Liddy
before,
if the
I've been
DNC
overrun
wins.
by a violent mob. But I knew
I don't know if I
then,
want to go.
from the bottom of my heart, that I knew now, there is no place in America for political violence. None. You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic. Historic joblessness.
What do you think they got him on tonight? They got him on the good stuff?
Long overdue. Clear.
He's pretty lucid tonight. He had all his naps, I guess.
Well, he wanted to keep his job until January, so he got his act right.
You're right. They can't remove that. Then I think they would have a real revolt.
Yet I believe then, and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us. Now it's summer. The winter has passed. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed. Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved. You've heard me say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole, I mean it literally. We're in a battle for the very soul of America. I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America.
Uniting.
Old
yeah, I'm looking right at you when he said
garments. Stirring up the
God.
oldest divisions.
So depressing.
Stoking the oldest fears. Giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides. My God." That's what he said.
Yeah, no, both sides.
That is what he said and what he meant. That's when I realized, had listened to the admonition of my dead son, I could not stay in the sidelines. So I ran. Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. An America where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor. An America where the fundamental creed of this nation, that all of us are created equal, is still very much alive. and a broad coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us, more than any time in all of history. Because of all of you in this room and others, we came together in 2020 to save democracy. As your president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward, not going back, to stand against hate and violence in all its forms, to be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity, demonizing no one, leaving no one behind, and becoming the nation that we profess to be. I also ran to rebuild the backbone of America, the middle class. I made a commitment to you that I'd be a president for all Americans, whether you voted for me or not. We have done that. Studies show the major bills we have passed actually delivered more to red states than blue, because the job of the president is to deliver to all of America. Because of you, and I'm not exaggerating, because of you, we've had one of the most extraordinary 4 years of progress ever, period. When I say we, I mean Kamala and me. Just think about it. COVID no longer controls our lives. We've gone from economic crisis to the strongest economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs, record small business growth, record high stock market, record high 401ks, wages up, and inflation down, way down, and continuing to go down. The smallest racial wealth gap in 20 years. And yes, we both know we have more to do, but we're moving in the right direction. More Americans have peace of mind that comes from having health insurance. More Americans have health insurance today than ever before in American history. And after, as a young senator beginning to fight for 50 years to give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prescription drug prices, we finally beat Big Pharma. And guess who cast the tie-breaking vote? Vice President, soon-to-be President Kamala Harris. And now it's the law of the land. Instead of paying $400 a month for insulin, seniors with diabetes will pay $35 a month. The law we passed already includes, starting in January, every senior's total prescription cost can be capped at $2,000 no matter how expensive the drugs they have. And what we don't focus on, and our Republican friends don't seem to understand, our reforms don't just save seniors money, they save the American taxpayers money.
They save the American taxpayers money.
You know what we just passed saved? It saved $160 billion over the next decade. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. But look, well, thank you, Kamala, too. Look, folks, how can we have the strongest economy in the world without the best infrastructure in the world? Donald Trump promised Infrastructure Week. every week for 4 years. And he never built a damn thing. But now, because of what Kamala have done, remember we were told we couldn't get it done. Remember when we came into office, we couldn't get anything passed? But right now, we're giving America an infrastructure decade, not week. We're modernizing our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, our trains, our buses. We're removing every lead pipe from schools and homes so every child can drink clean water.
You look like you're suffering right now.
Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where they live, not unlike what Roosevelt did with electricity. And so much more.
It is.
We are uniting the country. We're growing our economy. We're improving our quality of life. And we're building a better America. Because that's who we are. How can we be the strongest nation in the world without leading the world in science and technology?
Thank you guys for hanging in there with us.
After years of importing 90% of our semiconductor chips from abroad, which America invented those chips.
We'll be bringing you the DNC.
Our Chips and Science Act.
Every night.
Meant that private companies from around the world are now investing literally tens of billions of dollars to build new chip factories right here in America.
Follow us on all social media, Gray Mars.
And over that period, they'll create tens of thousands of jobs.
Party115 on Twitter /
and many of those jobs in the so-called fabs, the buildings that make the chips, that's being constructed now. And guess what? The average salary in those fabs, size of a football field, will be over $100,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree. Because of you and so many electeds out there, American manufacturing is back. Where the hell to say we wouldn't lead the world in manufacturing? 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. Our Republican friends and others made sure they'd go abroad to get the cheapest labor. We used to import products and export jobs. Now we export American products and create American jobs right here in America, where jobs belong. With every new job, with every new factory, pride and hope is being brought back to communities throughout the country that were left behind. You know you're from them, many of you. You know what it's like when that factory closed, where your mother, your father, your grandmother, grandfather worked. And now you're back, providing once again, proving that Wall Street didn't build America, the middle class built America, and unions built the middle class. It's been my view since I came to the Senate. And that's why I'm proud to have been the first president to walk a picket line. And be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. It's a fact. Because when unions do well, we all do well.
Are there even unions anymore?
Yes, those were the main people talking.
You got it, man.
In the beginning.
I personally don't know of any unions.
UAW, the United Auto Workers Union. You got the communication union for people that work.
I agree.
The communications.
Look,
and you have a labor union.
Remember we told we couldn't get anything done because we couldn't get anything done in the Congress? But with your support, we passed the most significant climate law in the history of mankind.
And that shows you right there that there's a problem. You didn't even know unions were still around.
$370 billion.
Oh, God.
Cutting carbon emissions in half by 2030. Launching a climate corps, similar to AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, creating tens of thousands of jobs for young people of the future who are going to make sure this continues. Creating hundreds of thousands of jobs in clean energy for American workers, including the IBEW installing 500,000 charging stations all across America. And in the process, reducing carbon emissions. And we're seeing it. We're seeing to it that the first beneficiaries of environmental initiatives are those fence-line communities that have been smothered by the legacy of pollution. Louisiana and Delaware, Route 9, all the factories, all those chemical factories are right next to the poorest neighborhoods. They're the ones we're going to bring back. And how? How can we be the greatest nation in the world without the best education system in the world? Donald Trump and the Republican friends, they not only can't think, they can't read very well. Seriously, think about it. Look at their Project 2025. They want to do away with the Department of Education. Well, during the pandemic, Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their schools back open. And we gave public school teachers a raise. We created apprenticeships with businesses and communities, putting students on a path to a good paying job, whether or not they go to college. And by the way, we're making college a hell of a lot more affordable. Increasing Pell Grants by $900. Over $15 billion to HBCUs. Minority service education, including Hispanic institutions and tribal colleges.
Where are the Hispanic institutions? I've never heard of those.
Provide more student relief than ever by lifting the burden of helping millions of families so they can get married, start a family, buy a home, and begin to build family wealth and contribute to the community and grow our economy. It's not costing us, it's creating more wealth. We fundamentally transformed how our economy grows, from the middle out and the bottom up instead of the top down. You know, my dad used to say there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to drop down on my kitchen table at the end of the month. I come from a basic middle-class family, 3-bedroom house, 4 kids, a grandpop living with us, decent neighborhood, but never a penny to spare. And look, that top-down notion never worked. A lot of Democrats didn't think it worked, thought it worked, but it doesn't. And when we did all that, what we've done, everybody can do well. Everybody. Donald Trump calls America a failing nation. No, I'm serious. But think about this. Think about this. He publicly says to the whole world, I'm going to say something outrageous. I know more foreign leaders by their first names and know them well than anybody alive. Just because I'm so damn old. But I'm not joking. Think of the message he sends around the world when he talks about America being a failing nation. He says we're losing. He's the loser. He's dead wrong. Many of you are very successful people who travel the world. Name me a country in the world that doesn't think we're the leading nation in the world. Without America, not a joke, think about it. I'm being literal. The murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history.
Lies.
Meanwhile, we made the largest investment in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling faster than any time in history.
under Trump. The only time he was ever violent crime was during the George Floyd riots.
And crime will keep coming down.
That's not an excuse. Trump caused COVID.
In the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon.
Caused COVID. And then that in turn raised the crime.
Oh my God. Shouts out to everyone still tuning into this foolishness. Thank you. The numbers keep rising, so I appreciate everyone watching.
The distinguished senator from the Senate from California and I passed the first ban on assault weapons. And guess what? It worked. If we care about public safety, we need to prevent gun violence. And what makes me ashamed when I travel the world, which I do, more children in America are killed by a gunshot than any other cause in the United States. More die from a bullet than cancer, accidents, or anything else in the United States of America. My God. That's why Kamala and I are proud. We beat the NRA when we passed the first major bipartisan gun safety law in 30 years. I'm serious. That comes from here. And now it's time to ban assault weapons again. And demand universal background checks.
Shouts out to Kamala Harris not agreeing to debate Trump September 4th. She's truly living up to Chicken Mala.
I never thought I'd stand before a crowd of Democrats and
she won't go on Fox News.
As a liar so many times. No, I'm not trying to be funny.
I understand why.
It's sad. Trump continues to lie about the border. Here's what he won't tell you.
September 4th, Donald Trump town hall.
Trump killed.
We might do a live stream.
The strongest bipartisan border deal in the history of the United States.
Hold on, don't talk through this part.
That we negotiated with the Senate Republicans took 4 weeks. Once it passed, and never acknowledged the most expansive border change in American history. He called senators to say, don't support the bipartisan bill. He said it would help me politically and hurt him politically. My God. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Not a joke.
Make sure you send D. White this part.
Ask even the press who doesn't like me. They'll tell you that's true. Typically, Trump, once again, putting himself first and America last. Then I had to take executive action. The result of the executive action I took, border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. And unlike Trump, we will not demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America. Poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration, including protecting dreamers and more. And here's what else I believe in. Protecting your freedom to vote, your freedom to love who you love. And your freedom to choose.
Thank you for watching this boring foolishness.
Please follow us on all social media. Gray Mars. What's it, Twitter?
Roe v. Wade that you heard earlier tonight.
Party 115.
The United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power. No kidding. MAGA Republicans found out the power of women in 2022. And Donald Trump is going to find out the power of women in 2024.
He was talking about the midterms.
Watch. And where Trump and his mega Republican right-wingers seek to erase history, we Democrats continue to write history and make more history. I'm proud to have kept my commitment to appoint the first Black woman in the United States Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson, the symbol for every young woman in America that you can do anything. I'm proud that I've kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and that taps in to the full talent of our nation. The most diverse cabinet in history, including the first Black woman in South Asian descent to serve as vice president. And will soon serve as the 47th president of the United States. She is good. Look.
Do you think she's going to win?
No.
Thank you, Kamala.
Let us know in the chat, who do you think is going to win?
Folks, I've long said we have many obligations as a nation, but I got in trouble years ago for saying I'd make no apologies. We have only one truly sacred obligation: to prepare and equip those we send to war and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why I'm so proud to have written and signed the PACT Act, one of the most significant laws ever, helping veterans and their families exposed to toxic materials like burn pits and Agent Orange. I was around during the Vietnam War. It's hard. Nobody was able to prove that their illness was a consequence of Agent Orange. And no one was able to prove initially that because they lived in burn pits like my son lived next to in Iraq for a year, that is the cause of their illness. But because of the PACT Act, a surviving spouse with 2 children is now eligible for a stipend of about $3,000 a month. And those children who lost a parent are eligible for tuition benefits to go to college and to get job training. It's already helping over 1 million veterans and their families just so far. Well, I love them, and I'm so proud of my son's service. We get it, but guess who doesn't get it and doesn't respect our veterans? We know from his own chief of staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in one of the France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country, he called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? There's no words for a person. They're not the words of a person not worthy of being commander-in-chief, period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Suckers and losers.
Just as no commander-in-chief should ever bow down to a dictator, the way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down. When Trump left office,
you guys think she's drunk?
NATO was in tatters. Not a joke.
Allegedly, I heard she's had a few drinks by now.
Changed our whole image in the
world. That's the rumor D put out there. I never heard that ever.
That was the rumor we've been reading on X. That's why.
Sum total.
My sources are saying she likes to drink.
To strengthen NATO. We did. We united Europe like it hadn't been united for years, adding Finland and Sweden to NATO.
Oh my God, it's midnight and he's still going.
10 days before he died,
Henry Kissinger
called and said, not since.
Maybe he did have it in him.
Not since Napoleon as Europe not looked over their shoulder at
they
Russia
must have
with
had him
dread.
take like 4 hours a
Until
nap.
now. Until now. Well, guess what? Putin thought he'd take Kyiv in 3 days. 3 years later, Ukraine is still free. When I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. They haven't noticed. No one's saying that now. And we'll keep working to bring hostages home and end the war in Gaza and bring peace and security to the Middle East. As you know, I wrote a peace treaty for Gaza. A few days ago, I put forward a proposal that brought us closer to doing that than we've done since October 7th. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now. To end the civilian suffering of the Palestinian people and finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war. Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides. Just as we worked around the clock to bring home wrongfully detained Americans and others from Russia in one of the most complicated swaps in history, but they're home. Kamala and I are going to keep working to bring all Americans wrongfully detained around the world home. I mean it. Folks, I've got 5 months left in my presidency. I've got a lot to do. I intend to get it done. See, it's been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more. I love my country more.
Okay.
And all this talk about how I'm angry at all those people who said I should step down. That's not true. I love my country more, and we need to preserve our democracy. In 2024, we need you to vote. We need you to keep the Senate. We need you to win back the House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump. And elect Kamala and Tim, President and Vice President of the United States of America. Look, they'll continue to lead America forward.
Sorry, Monte, I had to put on my nighttime glasses.
For workers, growing the economy, lower the cost of American families so they just have a little more breathing room. We've made incredible progress, but we have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food. They'll keep taking on Big Pharma, making insulin $35 a month, not just for seniors, but for everyone in America. And capping prescription drug costs at a total of $2,000, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And folks, that's going to save America again tens of billions of dollars. Folks, They'll make housing more affordable. Building 3 million new homes. Providing $25,000 down payment assistance for the first-time home buyer. More than the 10 we approved. Donald Trump
People kept on
wants
saying
no
his
tax on
speech was
imported
going to be
goods,
sad.
food,
This
gas,
is very
clothing, and
aggressive.
more. You know what that would cost the average family, according to the experts? $3,900 a year in a tax. No, that's a fact. Kamala and Tim will make the child care tax credit permanent. Lifting millions of children out of poverty and helping millions of families get ahead. But you know what Trump has? He created the largest debt any president had in 4 years with his $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. Well, Trump has a new plan. He wants to provide a $5 billion tax cut for corporations that are very wealthy. Read it. Put us further in debt. And folks, you know we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average tax rate they pay? 8.2%. If we just increase their taxes, we proposed to 25%, which isn't the highest tax rate even, it would raise $500 billion new dollars over 10 years. They'd still be very wealthy. Look, Kamala and Tim are going to make them pay their fair share. They'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Kamala and Tim will protect your freedom. They'll protect your your right to vote. They'll protect your civil rights. And you know, Trump will do everything to ban abortion nationwide. Oh, he will. You know, Kamala and Tim will do everything they possibly can. That's why you have to elect a Senate and a House to restore Roe v. Wade. The ancient Greeks taught us that character is destiny. Character is destiny. For me and Jill, we know Kamala and Doug are people of character. It's been our honor to serve alongside them. And we know that Tim and Gwen Waltz are also people of great character. Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career. We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity, enormous integrity. Her story represents the best American story. And like many of our best presidents, she was also vice president. That's a joke. But she'll be a president our children can look up to. She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is. She'll be a president we can all be proud of. And she will be a historic president who puts her stamp on America's future. This will be the first presidential election since January 6th. On that day, we almost lost everything about who we are as a country. And that threat, this is not hyperbole, that threat is still very much alive. Donald Trump.
The threat is alive because you've been president.
Accept the election result if he loses again.
God, people.
Think about that. He means it. Think about that.
Oh my
He's
gosh.
promising a bloodbath. if he loses, in his words.
Of course, all
He'll be a
this is the
on
Democrats'
day one,
platform:
in his own
fair
words.
and Trump, fair Trump,
By
Trump
the way,
and fair.
this sucker means it. No, I'm not joking. Think about it. Anybody else said that in the past, you'd think he was crazy. He is crazy, but you'd think it was an exaggeration, but he means it. We can't let that happen. Folks, all of us carry a special obligation. Independents, Republicans, Democrats. We saved democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024.
Trump bad, save democracy. We're saving democracy. But who's going to save us from you people?
Load of each of us cast
What do y'all been saying?
The border's open. What?
It's
No,
that
he
simple.
just debunked all of that.
It's that serious. And the power is literally in your hands. History is in your hands. Not hyperbole. It's in your hands. America's future is in your hands.
Oh, it froze.
Let me close with this. Nowhere else in the world could a kid with a stutter and modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, grow up to sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. That's because America is and always has been a nation of possibilities.
He should have said great.
Possibilities. We must never lose that. Never. Kamala and Tim understand that this nation must continue to be a place of possibilities, not just for the few of us, but for all of us. But join me in promising your whole heart to this effort, and where my heart will be. I promise I'll be the best volunteer Harrison Walsh has Cam ever seen. Each of us has a part in the American story. For me and my family, there's a song that means a lot to us. It captures the best of who we are as a nation. The song is called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, and I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm not going to try. I'll just quote it. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart when my days are through. America, America, I gave my best to you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for stepping down.
He did step down.
He stepped away from running. Thanks.
I made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return for the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America.
What's he yelling?
And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together.
Yes, let's vote you out. Vote the Democrats out.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
Protect the border. How can you protect the troops if you're not protecting the border?
They are. They literally just said that it's lower than when President Trump was in office. So you're still gonna. This is everybody watching. This is proof. If you tell them the exact thing, doesn't matter if it's Nora D or whatever Republican, you can tell them exact information. They don't care. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about the facts. They care about.
Misinformation.
They care about.
Misinformation, fake news. That's not true. Of course, we care about the truth. The facts are the border is the worst it's ever been, probably in the last 30 years of this country.
He passed an executive order. Is down 50%. He just said it
because he caused it.
Okay. Well, in closing, I feel like he did a good job. He did way better than he was at the debate. He's like a totally different person. I was correct. He did not step down. And I think they were saying it was going to be a sad speech, but he was very forceful, very aggressive. What are your closing remarks?
My closing remarks are: please don't allow this Democrats to bring out celebrities this week to sway you. Please stay true. Open your eyes. Listen to your heart. Listen to what your soul is telling you. These people are corrupt. I think both sides are pretty corrupt.
Okay. All right. Vote for whoever you want to vote for. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Comment on anything else you want to do. We'll be doing the whole DNC. Always vote.
All right. Good night.
All right.